How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. Today I am very excited to be bringing you this video about Tron, especially in the light of what we're going to be expecting happening towards the end of the month. One thing that I found interesting when paying attention to Tron and how they've been approaching employment is the fact that they actually have headquarters in Beijing and San Francisco. And when you think about it, this is going to be very strategically valuable when you consider how forward moving both of these two areas in the world are. It's essentially a perfect storm of employment. And essentially the Tron team, I really believe, is going to be one of the most innovative as far as seeing where these things are going to be going in the long term. When it comes to innovation in cryptocurrency, blockchain is essentially going to be at the front and center of it. The cryptocurrencies that don't have blockchain are really going to have a tough time competing, and essentially the decentralization of the internet is fast approaching new paradigm shift that we're witnessing happening on all different levels. It's really interesting to see how these different companies like Facebook and Twitter are essentially faced with this paradox where they have to adapt or come to a swift and steady decline. And essentially it seems as if they've chosen neither the latter nor the former. They've chosen to facilitate their own decline for themselves by essentially going against the demand, like what their user bases want them to use their platforms for. I mean, we go and we see what's happening with Twitter. Essentially, it's who's buying Twitter stock anymore is the question that I'm asking. I mean, it's hard pressed to see time when Twitter is not getting just completely destroyed in the news, or we see all these different like Facebooks and so forth, these type of companies, the YouTubes. I mean, Mark Cuban sold his Twitter stock to load up on cash, and it's interesting to see how Facebook, a lot of people who've been working for Facebook have essentially been moving away from Facebook and going and associating themselves with cryptocurrency, while at the same time Facebook itself needs to adapt to the world of cryptocurrency, because they'd be pretty idiotic not to, considering the fact that the decentralization of the internet is being facilitated so quickly by these different projects that are working in the realm of cryptocurrency. And of course, we've been seeing a lot of really interesting attention being driven in the direction of Tron. A lot of celebrities have been paying attention to it, and essentially it's interesting to see how the community has been getting the attention of these big names, and it's really going to be a driving force in Tron, as it is a media providing platform, as they've basically attached themselves to that sort of branding element. It's going to be very interesting to see how essentially when the platform is up and running, to see the different sort of promotional things and the different celebrities that are going to leverage cryptocurrency in really such a short amount of time. So yeah, this is going to be a very exciting video. I love Twitter. I love seeing all the different memes. This one was hilarious. But I mean, just thinking about what's going to be happening as far as the LAMBO situation. No, I'm just kidding. As far as the fact that we're seeing the old legacy social media platforms that people used to be using, and they were much more popular in like 2007, 2008, 2006. These Facebooks are for people's grandmothers now. Twitter is for people's grandmothers. It's all old platforms. Now is the time for new platforms. And honestly, we're already seeing it. The youth has moved on. The young kids nowadays use Snapchat because it works better, and that's really the point that I'm trying to get across, is the fact that it's the functionality of these platforms that's going to make the fundamental difference. And the fact that Tron is approaching this from a decentralized perspective is essentially a testament to the genius behind the project. project and where they're going so far. So, you know, Tron's currently in the number 12 position with good reason. But I'd say, you know, towards the end of the year, we'll definitely see a high likelihood probability, if, you know, as far as my opinion is concerned, Tron, you know, possibly being ranked among the top 10 as far as things are, you know, going, as far as what we can expect to see, you know, in terms of the different partnerships and where Tron is going from a data perspective. It really makes perfect sense to start to adapt or really face their own conclusion. But I mean, Facebook has so many different problems that, you know, are essentially coming together as far as the way that they've handled data, the way that they've censored their user bases, and essentially people are getting tired of using Facebook. And sad to say, but the story is very similar with YouTube and Twitter, and they're all sort of connected at the hip when it comes to this problem, because essentially what's happening right now is we're seeing the old system is having to adapt to this new way of doing things, which is brought about and made possible by cryptocurrency. So it's happening on all different levels of society, but I think that Tron really does have the right idea, because they've focused themselves on, as far as employment, on Beijing and San Francisco. And I think that this is two essential parts of the world where they can essentially, I mean, and they do provide travel for their employees and so forth. So I think Justin Sun definitely does have the right idea, and Tron really does seem to be making some really significant moves right now, especially in this time we're witnessing. I mean, by the end of August, we will see the completion of the Mainnet upgrade, which is really going to be something. And essentially, we've been seeing a lot of these different elements that have been happening as far as the Tron acquisition of these different platforms and how it's been leveraging what's already available out there, and really learning from the different lessons. And I mean, look at all this stuff. Kanye West, Ellen, and the Pope just got crypto as as Tron TRX bursts onto Twitter. You know, I mean, we've seen what was it? I believe Ripple was on Ellen, and you know, all these different cryptocurrencies coming into the mainstream. Celebrities want to associate themselves with cryptocurrency. We see it all over Hollywood now. They're using cryptocurrency as a plot device. Whenever they need a character to get rich quick, they use cryptocurrency because it's already facilitated itself in the public consciousness that way. And I think that this is really going to be important when we look at what's going to be happening involving the totality of the market cap where it currently stands, which is why I don't really panic when I see the market cap dipping down to 190 billion, you know, 150 billion. It doesn't bother me, because I see, I have faith in the technologies that I've already done my research in. And if you don't have a research, if you don't have a backbone of research that, you know, gives you confidence in the different technologies that, you know, in cryptocurrency, you could easily lose money. But of course, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Obviously, this video is for educational purposes only. But yeah, I mean, all that being said, I do have a positive opinion when it comes to Tron. I mean, I think that there's a great community revolving around Tron that definitely does speak for itself. But of course, you know, remember, I'm not your dad. You know, I'm not trying to tell you anything about Tron. It's basically just all, I mean, if you're watching this video, you obviously have some interest in what I have to say about these things, but it is interesting to see how Tron, you know, really has been making headway in a really significant way as we've seen it moving forward. You know, on multiple levels. It's interesting to see how Tron's been, you know, really moving forward. And I think that in the world of altcoins, Tron definitely is one that I'm definitely paying attention to moving forward into the next phase of, you know, cryptocurrency and where we've been seeing these things going. Tron definitely is one of the more innovative projects that we've been, you know, paying attention to, and had the privilege of watching Tron as, you know, all these different cryptocurrencies across the board have been making history. But yeah, you know, obviously I give the same compliment to Cardano, and I'd give a similar compliment to various different technologies across the board. And you know, I don't really talk about Bitcoin too much, but I do give credit where credit is due. And you know, we are moving right along as far as cryptocurrency goes, and seeing these different developments happening across the board. And Bitcoin dominance now at 51.5%. I hope soon we'll see it dip down to 49%. But I mean, that's It's just my prediction that it'll happen within a short amount of time. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen involving Tron, especially on that August 30th date is definitely going to be interesting. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Stay relevant. That's going to be my new catchphrase.